Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers, and I hope that you're having a good day. This is a beautiful day, beautiful sunshine. Thank you to each of you for supporting the show. We have 104 subscribers. We would like to have some more, and if you are listening to our videos and not subscribed, please consider the possibility of doing so. We also are thankful for the increase in the likes. We certainly can use all of those that we can get, so thank you for that as well. We're thankful to those of you who are taking the time to make comments, and to those of you who are sharing our videos with other people. We are coming down to a very important time in history. There are going to be a number of people arrested. We are beginning to see the people that are going to ultimately be arrested, and some of them are starting to make some mistakes. And so that's going to be very interesting to see how that happens. But today we're going to be talking more about the banks. My training, my education is in business and economics, and so those are the things that I have a tendency to kind of focus on. We talked the last time about the things that were going on, how the banks were controlling the silver and so on, and this is going to continue until they run out of contracts. As we said, the end of each month, the middle of the month, and then the end of the following month, there are contracts that are coming due. There are banks that are in the process of going down because they can no longer get loans to do the things that they need to do, and therefore they have to go down. Now, this is going to change the entire structure of the financial situation. The economy is going to completely change. Excuse me a minute. And as it changes, the people are going to wind up in a different situation. The banks are going to become less important as we move forward. And you won't need the banks for a lot of the things that you are doing. One of the things that happens right now, you need another car, you get a car loan from a bank. You need a home, you get a home loan from a bank. You want a credit card, you get a credit card, usually from a bank or from a lending institution of some sort. You want personal loan or anything else, you go to some kind of a financial institution. What happens when that's no longer a necessity? Well, that's very well going to be what we are going to see here in the very near future. There is a new system coming out, the quantum system. Now, the old system was a system where that if you were to make a transaction, a bank transaction, it could take 7 to 10 days before that transaction would clear. What if you could make a transaction today and within a matter of seconds it was to clear? That's the quantum system. We are getting away from the old system. We're going to be getting away from the fiat currencies. And the new system is going to be a system whereby oftentimes you may not need currency in your hand. You may be able to do everything with a card. Now, the cards that you have right now that go through the banks, every time you make a transaction, these would be your debit type cards. A lot of people have those in place of a bank account, and they call those cards different things, but you always have a percentage of each transaction that you have to pay to the bank. Your credit cards, there is a cost for using them. Usually, most of those costs are to the people that run the businesses that you're making the transaction with. However, when you get your statement at the end of the month, you can pay quite an astronomical amount of money for that as well. But what about the new quantum cards? The new quantum cards are not connected to an account. You don't have to file any kind of paperwork to try to get a quantum account. Those accounts are automatically put in your name, and if you decide to leave your money on that particular card instead of putting it in a bank, you will actually not have to incur any kind of debt. There won't be any loans that you are going to be responsible for. The money that is on the card is what you'll be able to use. There won't be a 2 or 3 or 5% fee that you have to pay to make a transaction. That's going to be a huge help. And those are called the quantum cards. Now, they may have different names. There's been a lot of people that have talked about the possibility of some of the different names that those particular cards might have. I'm going to call them the quantum cards until I know that maybe there's something else that they decide to call them. Now, we know that the banks are going to be going down. I told you that 1 or 2 banks could go down in the month of March. Many people in prophecy, the people who study eschatology, and many people who are Bible teachers, many people who study the numerical number systems in each of the different stories within the Bible are showing that a lot of those stories have a numerical order, and it shows when, or the general time when, something is going to happen. It would be within a few days because of the fact that when you take a look at all the calendars, the Julian calendar, the Gregorian calendar, there are, I believe, 12 or 13 days separating them. So if you have Christmas on one calendar, 13 days later, it is Christmas on the other calendar. So the question then is, do all of the things that happen in the Bible that the numerical people take a look at, are they going to happen on the Gregorian calendar, or are they going to happen on the Julian calendar? And that'll be kind of an interesting thing to look at. But one by one, we are going to see the banking system go down. It is already bankrupt. In fact, a few have said that on Christmas Day, it actually became bankrupt. And that, I believe, is one of the reasons why so many of the banks were having to borrow money in order to pay those silver contracts. Now, the silver contracts are most likely not going to be able to be paid back, because try the best they can, they don't seem to be able to get the silver price back down to a level that they're going to be able to afford to pay off those contracts. Number one, they're going to be paying at $75 or $80 an ounce as opposed to $30. But of course, the other thing is they wrote way too many of those silver contracts. And I believe the reason that they did is the same reason that they use for everything. They didn't think she was going to lose. Unfortunately, she did. And in 2017, we had a different president than what they were banking on. So there you go. We'll talk more about these cards. We'll talk more about the financial system, more about the silver market, the gold market, and some of the other markets. We'll talk a little bit more about cryptocurrencies, and we're also going to talk about foreign currencies, because it seems that through foreign currencies, through cryptocurrencies, as well as through the metals markets, the transfer of all of the money is going to go from the people who had the wealth, who had stolen the wealth from you and your family, and it's going to be coming back to you. And that is what the plan has been, that is what the plan is, and it is going to be through a number of different avenues, including the three that I just mentioned. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. You folks have a good day.